So thank you guys for joining us. I think we have a great turnout today. Also, we have another exciting webinar for you that we're doing. Again, this is a series of webinars that we're putting together, mainly as an effort to kind of produce this full curriculum on digital marketing. So if you've missed the old webinars, we have them posted on our blog, so you can always come back and watch them. And also, we will be producing a lot more, so please stay tuned and wait for our emails. A little housekeeping here stuff. If you would like to leave a comment or question, please feel free to use the chat available to you on the GoToMeeting panel, which is on the right side. If you would like to, you have any concerns in the middle, any questions, you can put the question there and have my colleagues will answer you. And at the end of the session, which will be probably about 45 minutes, 50 minutes, we can open up for the remainder of the questions or any concerns or things you might have in mind you want to share with us. All right, so let me introduce myself for those who don't know me. My name is Richard. I'm the founder of CEO of Vbout.com. Vbout is a full suite marketing automation platform. So you can do your email campaigns, your social media management, landing pages, automation, analytics, all in one place. So if you're using more than one tool, we are the ideal platform for you. Also, we have recently launched our website, which is very exciting. So check us out. We would love to get your feedback on it. So when I'm not building my startup, I'm actually very active in the NYC marketing community. We do have about 4,000 members in our community combined. We do monthly meetups, so we actually physically meet and we discuss the topics that we share with you here. So if you're actually in the area, you can join us or wait for our emails. We usually send out reminders for these meetups. So we meet physically, we mingle, we network, and then we discuss some of those greatest topics. I love swimming, I love chocolate, and soccer. So these are my hobbies. And I have a 1.5-year-old daughter, which I'm very happy. She fills up the rest of my time. Other than that, I have my colleagues who helped me put this together. So I just want to give them a quick thanks. Audrey, who's on the line with us, she helped pretty much orchestrate this whole presentation. Thank you very much. Feel free to ask her any questions, by the way. I have George, who is also involved in this. We have our graphics team, who help get all those icons and slides together. So shout out to Mel and Deeb. We also have Jay, who helps with the research, Tina. So as you can see, it's a collective, collaborative work of a lot of people to get this information over to you. And to kind of repeat the process, we do put a lot of effort in this because we are a startup and we are learning and we're rolling out strategies and we're making mistakes. So out of this whole bucket of information that we're learning, we're trying to provide it to you and share it with you collectively so you can learn from our mistakes and learn from the things that worked for us. So with that in mind, please follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. If you'd like to receive our updates, you can go to our blog, which is on vbout.com/blog. We do send periodic emails in which you will receive the latest, greatest content and infographics. All right, so I think we can get started. Today's topic is mobile marketing in 2016. We're going to be going over why mobile, mobile basics, ads and PPC, mobile basics on the strategies and how to optimize, additional stuff like ASO, indexing, and analytics. All right, so I've been speaking to a lot of marketers, and I've been seeing more and more trends out there, moving to and focusing on mobile. And with that, I still see some marketers that have no idea or have never even touched on mobile marketing, and this is a big mistake. So as a business, if you're not dabbling or starting your mobile strategy, you're actually leaving most of your business on the table. And these are some of the stats that I would like to share with you. The 70% of searches are actually being done online before 1 hour before taking action. So this is actually very important stats for local business. 75% of Americans admit to bringing their phone to the bathroom. This is why I highly recommend not to borrow phones from random people unless you carry your wipes with you at all times. In mid-2015, Google announced that half of searches are coming from mobile. So, what more of an indication you need than this? And if you look up at your analytics, you can filter your stats based on your traffic and what are the sources, whether it's from a mobile device, tablet, or from desktop. And people are three times more likely to share content on mobile. So if you're creating this great, amazing articles and blogs, it's definitely shared more on mobile devices than it is shared on desktop. So, as I mentioned, if you're not starting your mobile strategy or optimizing for mobile, you're leaving money on the table. It's as important for B2B to do it as much as it is for B2C, so business to business versus business to consumer. Key part of pushing out content and decision makers at the right moment is using mobile. Sometimes people walking around and they want to look up a restaurant, they immediately do the search and they're very close to making that purchase, in which case, pushing out the right content, the right information is important, but particularly for, restaurants, but as well for B2B, because, people are more likely down in the decision-making funnel, and this is why, you need to be optimized for web. So you're going to be hearing me say you need to be optimized for web because I don't think it's a choice at this point. All right, so some of the basics. In 2015, Google altered their ranking algorithm. If you haven't heard of it and you have a website that's not mobile friendly or responsive, you're in trouble. So if you and your competitors launched at the same day and time, you have the same exact website and layout and content. If your website is not mobile friendly and his is mobile friendly, he will show up on top of your search results. And you can see actually when you look up websites on your mobile device, Google has included a quick, a small description on the result indicating if the site is mobile friendly or not. So responsive, when I say responsive, maybe some of you might not be familiar with that, is rearranging elements on the screen when you move and you resize your browser. So I'll give you a quick example, which is something that we do across the board with our website. So this is the Vbout website. As I resize my screen, you can see the elements changing. Things like the top menu. For instance, we make it into what we call a hamburger menu. So it expands and contracts accordingly. We also hide elements in the background because you can see some of the overlap will not make sense on mobile. So we hide the background image. So these are things that your developer or the company that's working with you on your website can help you achieve. Luckily, all our landing pages and assets that we provide to clients are mobile friendly, so no need to worry about that. All right, coming back to the presentation. And also it's a fact that if you're looking up something and it's not rendering properly on your screen and you have to scroll up and down and zoom in and out, most likely you'll get frustrated and you'll move forward to something else. Okay, so optimizing your stuff is more than just optimizing a design. It's also adding the right call to actions and the right tracking and the right formatting of your content. What this means is, let's say you've created this beautiful looking page, you spent a lot of time and effort, you made it responsive, but however, the most important thing you want people to do on your site, for instance, is click on a button, and that button is shoved down all the way under the, you have to scroll down to the bottom to get it. Obviously that's not ideal. You would like, and ideally you should be placing your call to actions as soon as people land on the page. So if your content is rearranging itself based on the layout or device, make sure that your buttons, first, they're not too small or they're not too big. Second, they stay on above the fold, meaning people don't have to scroll to take an action. Or you can even use sticky bars, which means as you scroll down and up, the actual item stays on the screen. Other things you can do, you can track locations. You probably have seen those in certain websites where they ask you, would you allow this website to track your location? In which case they could serve you certain options and things according to your location. That could be done from a device, an app, or an actual web on your device. Not to mention the load time for a website. So if the page is not loading fast enough, that could have a toll on your mobile loading. These days searching on mobile and rendering results on mobile is fast over 4G, but you'll be surprised in third world countries in some areas where you have a low reception or you have slow internet. If your website is not loading fast enough on mobile, people will get sick of it and they'll probably drop off and go somewhere else. So coming back to the CTAs, I mentioned buttons, but also there are other things that you've probably seen, particularly in search results. So to give you an example, this is an ad. It's an AdWord on Google. So as you're searching for your whatever it is, taxi or a restaurant, you can place those call to actions inside the results so people can immediately push that button and give you a call. Imagine instead of having this button, you have a phone number. You have to highlight that phone number, copy it, put it in your in your phone keypad, whatever you call it, and dial out the number. I mean, you eliminated about 4 or 5 steps immediately by creating this step of call to action. And it's very simple to use, not only in ads, but you can do it on your website. And all it takes is just a small href, which is 2 words in coding that your developer can do, and they could make a phone number clickable and actionable on mobile. So taking actions immediately on mobile is important because people, have the tendency to close tabs, open new ones, migrate away from the page. They get distracted, so they close out the browser. So placing those call to actions on your app or on your site right in their face is important. So in 2013, 30 billion calls were made to businesses from mobile. So that's in 2013. I would imagine now it's much higher than this. Meaning if you're a local restaurant and you don't have your ads or your listings optimized with a call to action to call, you might be losing out business there. And if you're familiar with Yelp and TripAdvisor, a lot of these websites have added by default these type of call to actions, because what they can do is track how many calls are coming from these listings, how many calls were made, and kind of build out this analytics around those buttons. So the easier you make yourself reached by people, the more likely you will convert better. And this is the ultimate goal, is for you to convert your site, to convert into purchases, signups, lead generation, and so on. All right, so let's talk about the basics. So assuming you have an e-commerce website and you're collecting payments, you have checkout process, you're accepting people's money, right? Which is probably the most intimate transaction two people or a business and a consumer can have. So when somebody is giving you their money, you want to make it as easy as possible for them to go through the process, go through a seamless experience without having to face any issues or obstacles along the way. So there are a lot of things that you can do. The first thing we recommend is to try to minimize your forms. And we understand that as an e-commerce website, when you're checking out or buying something, you have to insert your personal data, you have to insert your shipping, you have to insert your billing, and then also you have to insert your login credentials and credit card info. So this could actually be very time consuming for users, and there's a lot of drop-off rates that happen when you increase or you have very, very large forms. The good thing is that there's a lot of solutions out there that you can actually implement very easily into your shopping carts that allow you to offer the simplicity to people. So paying via PayPal, you can offer PayPal as an option for payment. so people can click PayPal, log in 2 clicks, make a payment, and receive the payment. So checking out as a visitor along with paying via PayPal could be a good option. You have other things such as Square payments, signing up with social media like Twitter and Facebook. These are things that could also be beneficial in your payments and transactions. So to recap this page, make sure your call to actions for your payments are clear, small forms, minimize them as much as possible. You don't want to have buttons like submit payment or process payment not be clear, because if people are making mistakes, instead of going to the next step, they're processing payment, they will get pissed off. And also considering integrating third party like PayPal and Facebook, Twitter signups into your forms. All right, email. So, email is not going away. We know that already. It has evolved over the years. When it started, nobody even thought about making emails fit on an old cell phone, right? So, but nowadays, things has changed. Email designs have changed. Rendering and tracking have changed. And because of that, when you are sending your email campaigns, you have to, and I emphasize, you have to keep this in mind, that 54% of emails are now opened on mobile. Meaning, if you're sending to 100 people, most likely, okay, this is not always happening, but most likely close to half of them are reading that email from their phone, right? And you want to make it easy for those people to read it. I mean, why have your emails being jumbled up, text overlapping, the buttons are all the way down and you have to scroll, content not rendering properly, images being blocked. So, obviously email design should be inherently responsive, and most email engines should offer you that. If you are using something that doesn't offer templates that are mobile friendly, I would say look for another vendor. We do work hard on making our templates responsive across all devices. Now, some people do make edits to these things. They break the responsiveness of it. So you really have to be careful and do your testing properly. And also the analytics, you can always tell and see what are the most used devices when, from your audience. If they open it mainly from a desktop versus mobile. We know we provide this type of analytics, as well as a lot of the vendors that you might use should be providing it. It's good to consider image blocking also. So most emails, when they open on your desktop, they do block images, but on mobile, I think there's 2 steps to it. Sometimes the image might not load fully by default, so you have to scroll down. So that's the first issue. So when you scroll down, it kind of loads the whole content, but with images blocked, in which case you have to activate the images. Some people tend to send out emails that have images or just one banner, in which case it's blocked. People might not show images, in which case you've lost a potential conversion there. So if you're putting call to actions and you're including banners, make sure you put the right placeholder on it. Make sure that you have some sort of a text. So in case this person doesn't want to, show images, they have some copy to read. And we have, we touch upon emails and things in depth in other webinars that we have. So here are some of the turnoffs when people are reading or using their mobile devices to read emails. 44% say they receive too many. 37% say emails they receive are not relevant. That's a different topic. Too small to read and interact with. Websites and landing pages are not mobile friendly and not mobile optimized. So that's an important number right there. And not well formatted for mobile phones. So 21% of people who complain about that. And this is a quick chart that we combined, or we found online actually. They say message is jumbled and not well formatted on my mobile device. So there's no reason for you to actually lose people or call to actions or potential conversion because your content is not responsive. All right, so making your content easy to share. adding those share icons. We, on Vbout, we recently added the ability to share on WhatsApp because people are opening WhatsApp. I mean, they're using WhatsApp more and more. I'm not sure the exact count of users, but you want to make it easy for them to click on these call to action and share it. And people are 3 times more likely to share on their cell phone than they would do on their desktop, actually. So why not just add this quick call to action or these quick share buttons on your email to be able to share it with your audience, right? It doesn't hurt. So again, you have WhatsApp. I'm sure soon enough you'll be able to share it on other devices and other apps. I'm sorry, maybe Snapchat or things like that. All right, so this is a quick test for you that we found online. So which device do you think have the highest conversion rate when it comes to adding to cart from a mobile device? And when I say mobile, I'm including tablets. All right, I'm pretty sure most of you guessed it right. So we have the winner based on the last quarter in 2014 was the iPad. So the iPad was the leading, if you want to say, e-commerce conversion platform when it comes to adding to cart and moving through the purchase funnel. Why? It could be a rendering process. It could be people feel that synergy and trust between themselves and the device, and obviously the vendor who is providing the call to action properly and doing their stuff optimized for web. So, if you are optimizing your content, your apps, your website, it's not enough to make them for desktop and for a phone. You should also be considering the layout on tablets. So it's 3 different layouts that you can consider, and there are tools that you can use, for instance, to check how a device or a website look on these different devices. To give you an example here, and it's not technical at all. So if I click on inspect element, I have an option here which is built in my Chrome. I can choose the device to see how these things are rendering on the different products, right? It literally took me 2 seconds to test my content, and I don't think this is hard for anybody to do if they have a website or an app or something like that. Well, app is a different story, but you get the point. All right, so let's talk about ads. Google claimed that 50% of people who complete a mobile search visit a store the same day. This applies very well to brick and mortar businesses that, if you're looking for a clothing store, a restaurant, if you're looking for a coffee shop in an area, you might be, looking to make a purchase in the next hour or so. So they do it highly on mobile device. So you want to reach the right people with a mobile-focused effective ad campaign. And if you ever use PPC on Google, you'll see that they have an option for you to create an ad, particularly for mobile devices versus a desktop, because they know exactly that these metrics are very powerful. A lot of people are looking on mobile and they want to take that action next. So, changing your tone, changing the verbiage on your ads will have to be tailored towards these specific devices. Also, the keywords that people search for on mobile are different from desktop. So, if you're on your computer at work, you might be looking best restaurants in New York City or best restaurant in Chelsea. But if you're on a mobile device, you might be looking to something more specific, best restaurant on 23rd Street, because that's the area you're in right now. Best areas, best Japanese places around, Times Square. So you got to think a little bit about that context. I don't know if the examples I gave are the best, but tailoring this kind of ads and keyword searches for mobile versus for desktop could make a difference in the outcome. We can use GPS and location services to target people when they're nearby. We're going to speak a little bit about that in the next few slides. So you can personalize the content and images as well as your deals based on the location of the person. So Instagram, let's talk a little bit about their paid ads. Ironically, a lot of people are complaining that this new algorithm that Facebook rolled out of showing a lot of these ads randomly are pissing off a lot of people. And I see, if you go down and you find on your phone while browsing through Instagram an ad, I want you to look at the comments. You'll be surprised to see people complaining and saying, "Why are you serving me this stuff? I don't want to see this ad," or whatever. But I think Facebook know what they're doing. And I think as early as 2 years ago, before even they figured out what they're going to do with Instagram, they started sending local businesses what they call beacon devices. These are the devices that detect directly, the location of the person. So let's say you're passing next to a Taco Bell, you have an Instagram app, and you have a Facebook app, right? So if you don't know how ads are being served on Instagram, you can actually create an Instagram ad from your Facebook account, so they're linked together. So let's say you're passing next to clothing store. They have a beacon installed, which is like a small cube, the size of your palm or even smaller. It detects on your phone that you have Facebook installed. Most of you do probably, or Instagram installed. And in return, they will serve you the ad based on your proximity location. So it's not enough that they're detecting the exact coordinates on the map. They know you're passing next to a particular stand at Macy's, for instance, or next to a Taco Bell. So they know where you are, and they're serving you ads that are closest to you based on that location. So that's just a quick example. Geo-targeting is not a new thing. It's been done in the past. So figuring out your IP address, from which you can detect person's location, zip code, or approximate zip code of the internet service provider, they will serve or change the content of their website accordingly. So you can, serve a different language. If you're in Europe, in Germany, you might serve a different, German language. If you are in the Middle East, you might serve Arabic language, and as well as, the currency. So maybe you have, I think Etsy does it well. So whatever you are, they will serve you the right ads with the right currency options. So they will do the conversion from dollar signs to euros, and you can see that on your devices. This could be done also on PC, obviously, but it's a good example for geo-targeting and geo-fencing, geo-targeting. Groupon does this very well. So Groupon is an app that serves you local deals from local vendors. So they give you, for instance, as you can see, a 79% off 1 month of unlimited Bikram yoga, whatever. When you launch the app, they immediately detect your location. What they do is you don't have to insert your zip code where you are. They do it for you. So that's one step taken away from the user, which is great. They pick up from their database all the coordinates of vendors close to you, and they serve you these offers. So imagine, you're in Chelsea in New York City, and they're serving you an ad from Canada, from Vancouver, Canada, somewhere. It doesn't make sense. So this is very helpful, and Groupon is doing it very well. Obviously, changing to map view and things like that is additional things. My favorite example is the way Starbucks is using mobile to provide better customer service. What they're doing, for instance, right now is nothing new, but you can buy from your phone, so you can make a purchase and order something. But they installed these local beacons, which I explained to you, and I'll go more in depth, at the location. So as you're getting near the place to pick up your Starbucks coffee, it will show up on their screen. They will make it for you, so you will come in and it's right there waiting on the counter for you to pick up. So that's amazing. Knowing where you are, you don't have to wait on lines. You don't have to do much. You come in, you pick up your coffee, and you leave. If you've been to Starbucks, particularly in big cities, you will realize that waiting in line could be very long. So this is one of the things they're trying to do to improve the lines and provide better customer service. So this is what they call beacons. There's iBeacons from Google. There's Estimote is another company that gives you beacon devices. And there are APIs that you can do. So again, beacons are these things that you put in in a physical, very concise location, it detects your phone is nearby, and accordingly, via APIs and software and tools that you might be using, it can serve you the right ad. Now, this is, in theory, is easy, but you need to have, for instance, the vendor's app installed on your phone, like in this case, Starbucks. If you don't have Starbucks app on your phone, it might not be served. You cannot push notification or anything like that if you don't have the app. So you'll see more and more as you go in the next few years, getting random messages on your phone or random ads or offers as you're walking by a store. All right, so mobile apps. Let's talk about that. Most of you have smartphones. They have at least 15 to 20 apps installed. If you don't, you're probably not using your device to its fullest. In Forbes, they had the study made where they realized that apps are not only consumer apps, but big businesses are creating apps as well to market to other businesses. So more than half of the companies that Lopez Research surveyed are planning to build 20 or more apps, enterprise mobile apps this year. What that means is if you're a big enterprise company and you have a product or offering targeting other businesses, there's big plans to roll out more than 1, 2, 3 apps, actually more than 20 apps, which is crazy. So why they're pushing for mobile apps? We gave you an example with Groupon and Starbucks. It's a great way to improve customer experience, retain customers, and create this kind of personal relationship with the end consumer. Also, push notification and beacons are becoming easier to deploy, buy, and implement, and they work together well. And there's a browser compatibility issue where, if you're using, there's so many browser options these days. So your website will look very consistent if you're using an app, and will have minimal designs and minimal interactions with it. You will have a lot less elements on a mobile app than you would have on an actual website. So this is a chart that shows you the downloads, popular downloads by industry. So you can see gaming is the leading downloads. The next segment is a business. So if we're talking about business apps, so you can think about, in our case, we use a chat software to serve our clients, and I was sold on the platform because they have a mobile app that allows me to respond to my clients anywhere I am from my phone. So if you're thinking B2C when it comes to apps, you also have to think B2B because it's very important. And this is a chart that will be available to you guys. You can download and use for your own purposes after we finish this presentation. All right, so let's talk about the trends when it comes to mobile apps. The user experience and apps in general are becoming more and more robust, and they engage customers more precise in a more precise way. It's used as an acquisition strategy, mainly because there's a lot of clutter when it comes to SEO. If you're going to Google and you're searching for things, you might come up at the second and third page if you're optimized properly, and of course the first page if you have a long track record. However, in the App Store, it's still not easy, but you have better chances because you have less competition in an App Store than you would have on a website. So this is why it's a good customer acquisition. From an SEO perspective, it's good. It's also better if you can serve clients easily via an app. I'll give you an example of a chatbot, for instance. And marketing on mobile apps is going to become part of digital marketing responsibility. So this is another trend that if you're a marketing manager or you're planning to start a marketing campaign, you have to know how to do things on mobile equally as you would do on a desktop. And this will require marketers to understand and optimize apps so they could kind of beat the search engine results or the App Store search results. And we'll get into that in a second. And that's a nice fact on the right side. So as of summer 2015, more than 100 billion apps were downloaded from the App Store. That's crazy. That's really crazy. So if you're planning on doing a mobile app, there's ways you can actually optimize that stuff, and we call this the App Store optimization. How are you going to get discovered? Uh, building a mobile app is not cheap. It requires resources, probably a different skill set than you have with your actual developer who built your website. So you're going to open up a new can of worms. You have a new developer who you might even need two, one for Android, one for iOS. You need somebody to test your end product. You need to market that product. So it's a whole process that goes into building a mobile app. So some discovery methods, because it's going to be very challenging for you. I think the chart on the left is showing you how people find you in the App Store. So this is a slightly outdated chart. I think we're probably going to give you a more up-to-date one. But mainly you'll be found in the App Store via general search from your phone or from the website, from the Apple website or from Android's store. Friend referrals or even sharing. So if somebody's shared an app on social media or shared it on WhatsApp, I use this sometimes. I tell somebody on WhatsApp, hey, check out this app. It's great, and I send them a link to download it. SMS. So this is a quick chart you can look at, so you can see how you can optimize, or how you are found on these devices. So how to rank higher in the App Store? So typically when you're building a website, you have an SEO strategy in place. You have to use the right keywords on your site, the right meta tags. I can't say we can cover mobile app optimization in one session or in a couple of slides, but obviously there's things you can say. So if you're calling your app, for instance, marketing automation for dummies, chapter 1, course 15, obviously this is not the right title for the app. Make sure your title is optimized to some extent, not only to include your brand, but to also perhaps have something that describes it. So you can say, for instance, Vbout marketing analytics app. So keywords for also your listing. So every listing comes with keywords and tags that you can use. Categories, so making sure you categorize your listing properly. Obviously you want to have ratings and reviews. Some apps I download, they send me a follow-up email and they tell me to rate the app, or within the app itself as I'm using it, they give me a quick chat box or notification telling me, if you like the app, please give us a quick review. So this helps because the more reviews you get, the more likely you will you'll be getting downloads, because people read the reviews. I do read reviews before I download an app to expect any errors or bugs that might be happening and if they cleaned it up or not. The total number of downloads, which might be correlated to reviews. So the more downloads, the more trustworthy it is. In every business that starts or launches an app, they have these difficulties of, okay, I have 5 downloads, I have 6 downloads, and they start counting it and counting it. But little by little, I think you can build up your downloads, and hopefully if you're providing a good app, you shouldn't worry about that. But definitely push for reviews, and there are services that could help you kind of get these things ramped up that you can look up. All right, so another thing you can use in mobile apps, and it's also a very broad topic, is app indexing, linking, and deep linking. So these are actually efforts used by search engines and certain apps to interlink one app with another. Okay, so similarly how you would have a website, if you click on the link, it takes you to another website, or if you you can pass along certain data like a search query from one website to another website. It's similar to apps, and I'm hoping I'm describing this properly, but with deep linking is just a way to link an app to another app. So sometimes you might be on WhatsApp and there's a link. If somebody gave you a link to Facebook, it opens up the Facebook app versus the website. or the mobile site, so it immediately takes you to the other app. So Google have obviously probably pioneered this along with Apple, but now search engines are looking into the content of your app, the keywords within your apps, the pages, the descriptions, and I don't know exactly how this factors into their results, but you're probably seeing more and more top results, not necessarily sponsored, but there are things that organically Google are sending back. So if you're looking for a marketing app, you might have uh, the web app results and an actual mobile app. And I think between Google, Bing, Apple, and Facebook, they're all copying the same concept. It's just doing things interlinking with each other, apps interlinking with other apps, etc. So if you want to read more about deep linking, feel free to Google it. It's a huge topic, and I don't think I am qualified enough to talk about it, except maybe we'll do another session with an expert on this. All right, so as we're coming towards the trends now, the mobile ads. We spoke a little bit about Instagram and Pinterest, and they're adding these call to actions within within their ads. So obviously serving the picture of a table is not enough. They want you to buy that table. So on Pinterest, they put those call to actions like shop now or buy now, and it takes you directly to the vendor's website product, and you can buy it. You see this on the right side, like Macy's have this ad here. It shows in your Pinterest feed on your phone, and you can directly go to the site and buy it. Maybe having a link to what do we have before, like a McDonald's ad may not be too relevant because it's not a physical product. I've seen mainly in actual products like this being pushed through Pinterest. I don't know how well it serves SaaS and B2B as far as buying directly from here, but that's something that's interesting to explore actually. Instagram does the shop now button. So call to action, you see it everywhere. It's important, particularly in your ads. All right, so now that you've optimized, you've done all that stuff, you've optimized your website, you have an app, you've launched it, you optimized it, all your emails are very well designed for mobile devices with their share buttons. You've done everything in your power. What's coming, what are the trends? So Google rolled out this AMP, which was announced at the end of 2015. And as you are browsing your feeds and you've clicked on an article to read, you probably notice certain articles might load faster than others. So this is what AMP does. An example of the Washington Post, they've done this very well. So if you ever see an ad on your Facebook that's coming or from Washington Post, and you click it, you can see it loads lightning speed on your phone. Similarly with popular tech blogs like TechCrunch. So this can impact the user experience because people want to click on something, read it immediately and get out, right? So being able to serve this instantaneously by deploying such technology is important. I'm going to talk about that in more depth. So, obviously Google are trying to make things easier for the consumer, particularly on mobile devices, to be to enhance the experience and to serve things faster. People have very short attention span and very low patience for content delivery. So it's called AMP because Accelerated Mobile Pages. This is what it stands for. It's almost like a stripped down version of your mobile site. So you take your mobile site, you eliminate all the jQueries, all these effects and sliders. All you put is minimal text with beautiful, maybe an image or two and some nice fonts. So making it minimal with very little effect, so it loads extremely simple. So now you're taking your web page, making a mobile version of that page, and the AMP version of it, which could be just a couple of codes that could serve certain items versus others. I put in this this first website that was ever launched. You see it on the right. So this is the first ever World Wide Web website that was launched on the internet. You can see it had basic content, and I think we're going back to that first step where our content is going to be served similarly with just plain backgrounds and just content with some images to it. All right, so AMP can give you a boost in your search ranking just because you load faster than others, and Google have these queries and tools that let you test your site speed on mobile devices, so you can see how fast things load on mobile versus desktop. And based on those search results, they can quantify a website's ranking and enhance you or push you up in the results. Let me show you quickly how this will be served. So let's say you're browsing these results, you click it, boom, it shows up The Guardian. It literally took less than a second for it to load. And you can see how you're going from one page to another very, very quickly. And this is actually a live, a live rendering of an experience. So you're scrolling down, the scroll is very smooth. Nothing is interacting with it or interrupting the scroll. And as you're going from one page to another, it seems like you're just flipping a page. But it's all served on the web, which is amazing. If you're doing it from an app is one thing, but if you're doing it via a web, you're calling out another server, and the server is rendering the pages from the database, sending it back to you. I mean, this is just amazing technology. And there's a lot of resources right now. If you look up Google AMP, you can read how you can use it, how to implement it, and so on. All right, so the last part of the presentation, we'll talk about analytics. I always say this, you cannot improve what you cannot measure. So if you're doing all that stuff and you don't have the right tracking behind it, I don't think you should be doing it, because you will never get it right from the first time. You will never see if you have a boost in your mobile conversion if you don't have your conversion pixels set up properly. If you don't have Google, for instance, have a free tool, why not create a tool and use it, an instance and use it? It gives you all these background and stats and information on the user experience from their mobile device. So setting up your metrics, first, of course, finding the right tool. And I can start with Google Analytics because it's free, and they have, a suite that lets you do the web version of it, mobile and web. And they have also a suite that lets you do, an app analytics, so you can go inside the app and track things internally. So you find the right tool, and there's plenty of them. If you don't like Google, there's certain other tools that let you do it. Of course, it's different based on your needs. So some people might be looking for analytics based on engagement and a deep background on engagement. So I think there's a great analytics tool for that. It slipped my mind, but I'll share it with you guys. I think Chartbeat is a very good tool that lets you measure metrics as well as engagement behind the metrics from your content and things. And of course, if you're using a marketing tool, most marketing tools let you track things. For instance, through Vbout, we can tell how our landing pages, if they're served from which device. We can actually funnel conversions, see the referrals, where they're coming from, how your emails are being read, which devices are reading the emails the most, and so on. So a lot of the marketing tools you use already might have these things already integrated in them. And of course, checking out the flow of the user, meaning, you can see how people are, going from one screen to another screen. And this is an example here. You can actually filter the flow of the user. And this is, by the way, on Google Analytics. If you never used it, just search for user flow, and it will show you, it will give you, how you can get to it and see the analytics on it. So you can filter here and say, I would like to see the operating system, for instance, like Mac or iOS here, how people are going from one screen to another. Then you can filter it using Android or using a tablet or whatever. So this is very powerful, and you can see how people are going from one page to another. What is your drop-off rate on which page? And accordingly, you can look at those pages and kind of see what you need to enhance. And this is particularly useful for e-commerce sites. If you want to do it, a test on your checkout processes, you can set this up. All right, so as far as mobile testing, you can take it a little bit beyond the traditional stuff that I just mentioned, and do A/B testing on images, hiding content or displaying certain content on mobile versus desktop. So this is A/B testing on content, dynamic content. You can see the engagement and drop-off rates. I think I touched upon it. But installing heat maps, recording the user experience, so you can see, for instance, where people are clicking on a mobile device, where they're moving their mouse on a mobile device, or how they're going through the whole app experience. So there are tools that you can record somebody's interaction with your mobile app that they installed, and you can take those sessions and give them to your UX person and say, hey, look at this, these buttons or this layout is not working. We need to roll out an upgrade or something. So using heat maps and session recording, not only on web, but also doing it on within your apps is something that's available. And I think, just overall, revising and understanding how mobile works, understanding that the need for mobile is growing. More and more people are actually using their devices. I think by 2020, they estimate that over 6 billion people are going to be using a smartphone. What this means to you is that if you're not on a phone or you're not optimized for mobile, you're definitely leaving money on the table, starting now, not in 2020. All right, so I think this is all for mobile marketing. Again, if you'd like to get access to the slides, we will share it with you via email after, in a couple of days. And also this will be recorded and published on YouTube, so you can watch the whole thing or share it with your team if you think it's valuable. And please feel free to tweet and share our content if you think, if you've liked it. Sign up for our blog. And with that, I'll leave the floor for some questions. Anybody has questions, please feel free to private message me, or you can put it in the actual chat.
Hi, Richard, can you hear me? I have a question. You were talking a lot about optimizing the site using call to actions. Is there any other way I could optimize via the little icons for Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest? I find that when I try to select those on my site, it doesn't lead me to anywhere. It's just clicking it. Am I doing something wrong, or is there a way I can make those prominent as well as link them to an actual account?
Hey, I'm sorry, who am I speaking to, just so I know?
This is April.
April, okay. So April, just to understand your question properly, you have a mobile optimized site, but your social links are not working? Is that your question?
Yes. Those are called social links, the icon, Twitter, and Instagram.
Okay, so then you click on them, they don't take you anywhere, or what is the exact?
Yeah, they don't take me anywhere, and I know when I go into the template for it, I do have a link, but once I exit out and I go into the live site, it doesn't lead me anywhere, and I want it to go to my Instagram and Pinterest and.
So these links are working properly on your web, but they're not working on your mobile version?
Yes.
So this could be some sort of a conflict within the. Obviously this is a little technical, so I would like to maybe take a look at what your website is. Feel free to share it, by the way, below. It could be a conflict in the way the links are working. It could be some sort of a pixel overlapping. So sometimes the way developers work is they might have certain dimensions to the elements on the screen. So they might have like a sidebar, and the sidebar have an index that should show above everything else. So if those sidebars are overlapping with the icons, and those sidebars happen to be transparent, you might not see them. So you will see the icons, but something is blocking that click. So without me seeing it, obviously I can give you 100% answer, but I'm suspecting this what it could be.
Okay. Would you like for me to provide you with that website? I can give you the direct HTML and you can just, you know, take a look at it from there. But if you don't have time, that's fine. I would try and look at, I would try to look and see what the developer did differently. But I know I chose a layout that was suitable for mobile and web browsers. But
Right. You know, these things happen. If you share it with me in the chat, I will wait until I take other questions, and maybe I can take a look at it after we finish the Q&A. How does that sound?
that sounds great. I actually dialed in, so I can't see a monitor or type
Oh,
anything that you guys are seeing.
oh, okay.
I'm just doing the yeah, the voice conference.
Oh, you can email me
I
if you like. You can email me, and I
sure.
can give you my feedback real quick. And you know, if you are on Vbout, because we rolled out a free package right now. So if you're doing any marketing, you can sign up to our free package and submit your request to our support team, who's amazing. They could help you a little bit with that as well as
Okay.
far as the site. So either email me or sign up to the free Vbout package and submit the question directly to support, who can assist you.
Okay, I will certainly utilize the feedback support, but I don't have your email address. Could you provide that for me?
Sure, it's Rich at Vbout. Rich, R-I-C-H, at V-B-O-U-T. You know, our company name, vbout.com.
Yes,
Okay?
vbout.com.
Yes.
Okay, I will be sure to do that. Is it okay if I listen in on the rest of the feedback questions that everybody's submitted?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, guys, anybody else, please feel free. We'd love to hear your questions. Either type it or let me see if I have anything from, sometimes people private message me. All right, Audrey, do we have any additional questions that came your way?
No, there are no other questions that came out. Yeah, but I was more curious maybe why people are interested in learning about mobile now, maybe what they're trying to do with their mobile marketing at the moment, if anyone would like to share.
Sure. So any of you guys right now on the call would like to share with us some of their marketing challenges when it comes to mobile, if they're trying to do it, anything they'd like to get out of it, challenges, etc. This is the time to share it, guys. We have a few more minutes.
Well, I find that it's paramount to have a digital presence online when you're doing sales.
Mm-hmm.
And with my company, we have a pretty large footprint, but we need to increase our audience. So by being mobilely apt, I find that it will increase revenue as well as our presence online.
Mm-hmm.
And it's impossible to do anything without someone calling our brick and mortar store and asking for, oh, is this available online, or how can I sign up for your newsletter? And it's just completely digital. So I find that it's just a great asset to have, and you can't avoid it.
Exactly, exactly. And I know it could be overwhelming, you know, and I'm not asking people to start building apps to be effective. You know, but at least you got to start somewhere. So if you have a website, start optimizing that. You definitely have call to actions because you have a website. So start, you know, making sure you have the call to actions placed properly. Landing pages if you're doing them, emails if that's what you're active on. So whatever you're working with right now, start making sure this is optimized for web. And if you start building your mobile apps, then you can jump into the other stuff. But it could be a little overwhelming. We understand. It's a step-by-step process. All right, so let me see. Anybody else have, because I'm in the job market. My interest is because I'm in the job market. Oh, okay, interesting. So Kelly said that she's interested because she's on the job market and she doesn't have a lot of digital marketing experience. Yeah, great. So, you know, Kelly, I just would like to tell you that, you know, some of the highest paying jobs in the next few years are going to be digital marketing professionals as well as marketing automation professionals. So marketing automation can tie in directly to mobile because it's part of the customer journey. I highly recommend you stick around to the rest of our webinars. I think by the end of our series, you'll have enough experience to be, to brand yourself as a digital marketer with an entry experience. So we'd love to back you up on that. And Will, thank you as well to you for joining the call. I know you have to leave, but yes, thank you for joining the call so early and sticking around till the end. Appreciate it. All right. All right, guys. So I think with this, we come to the end. I don't think anybody would like to share. Some of you are shy, although we cannot see if you're in your PJs or in your clothes, so it's fine. All right. So please sign up to our blog. We also are very excited about our new website launch. Any feedback on that is great, and we're excited about launching our freemium. So if anybody is interested in starting a full marketing campaign using email, social media, landing pages, analytics, we have the freemium model for that. So sign up on vbout.com and enjoy our platform. So thank you all, and we'll see you at the next webinar in a couple of weeks.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.